What was the secret to making your first million?
You have to get three things to happen. You have to get a customer to like you, they have to trust you, and it has to be a good deal.
Our competitive advantages is we're real business owners out there fixing real business problems. Hey there, guys. Look, we've got something incredibly exciting for you today. Look, if I was to start everything over, I started selling roofs at 18 years old. I've got a guy here that started from a grassroots as a young man and became a blue-collar millionaire. This guy's one of the most legendary roofing salesmen and social sales teams in the game. Like, as a guy that creates social media content, what I love about Josh Steinberger in Next Gen Exteriors, or Next Gen Restoration, my bad, is they are on cutting edge for brand, for social media, for how they take care of like their whole company as a family. They got a cult going on over there of salespeople. And, this guy, he started from the same place a lot of young people are right now. Unfortunately, it costs more money to actually get into the American dream now. You got to make $150,000 or more. And Josh, how long you been in the roofing business?
So I've been in the game since 2008. Been a while, right? Not a lot of guys still in the game that haven't gone BK between all the guys, you and me, about probably 10 guys other in the industry here that check that box of a solid decade in doing what we do, man. So been around a while.
So you started off like your first year in the business. Advice to your younger self. How old were you in 2008?
2008, I was 19.
19 years old in the business. And what are some of the things that, knowing what you know now as a blue-collar millionaire, would you tell yourself at 18 years old getting into the business, 19 years old getting into the business?
So I'll wind it back. So just before I got in roofing, right, I've been in door-to-door sales since I was 18-ish. So just before I got in on the roofing side of the game, right, I was still out banging doors. And so the company I learned how to go canvas, knock doors, do all that was a company that was selling cable and internet for AT&T. So it was initially, as we got onboarded, I got hired. The whole pitch was, we're going to go work direct market for Fortune 100 customers. Wore a suit every day. Tie, learned how to put the big fat triangle knot on, the whole shebang. It felt really cool, getting up, putting your big boy pants on every day. And when you go knock doors in 2 feet of snow in a pair of loafers and suit pants in Cleveland, Ohio, you have to have something mentally wrong with you, right? And so, I got my teeth and I thought I was going to become Bradley Cooper, right? How to win a guy, lose a guy, win a guy in 10 days or whatever, right? I was going to go become the beer and the diamond salesman guy. I was going to go become this rich dude sitting in an office in New York, whatever, pitch and blow and schmo, right? And the guys are like, yeah, well, this is where you start to become that guy. So this is the process to do it. And at 19 years old, 18 years old, I was just like, okay, like I guess that makes sense. I'm definitely not qualified to go make millions of dollars in a giant sweet office in New York. So, whatever we got to do it. And so, trudge the office, learn how to build a team, learn how to recruit, learn how to talk to people, learn how to do, leadership, went on business trips and slept on people's floors for 3 years. And, was in that spot. But, at cable and internet sales, AT&T, your phone and internet bill is what, $125 a month? So, what's a commission they can pay you on that, right? Like the biggest commission, like our big win back commission that they called it, was taking a old Bell South customer that left and went to Time Warner. We get them back to AT&T back in the day, right? That was a big win back. We got $113 for that sale. Had to get a credit card and a social security number from the guy, right? Sitting on the stoop, but it took about 3 hours once we got a fish on the line. We were expected to do 2 to 3.
That was harder than a roof. I bet you that was harder than selling a roof sometimes.
1,000 times harder, right? And so, but the goal is in the sales side, you get good at sales, you learn to teach and lead people eventually, and then they give you an office to go run. And so they gave me an office to run in Kansas City here, back in circa 08. And so opened an office here, led a team of guys door to door here in Kansas City. And I got a phone call, right? So 08, 09, the mortgage market goes to holy shit. And so my stepdad had a construction company back in Ohio, and he goes, hey, man, they're closing up all these Burlington coat factories. They just canceled all of our contracts. So, what do you think about this thing? A guy I know here's doing this roofing game, these insurance companies. Well, nobody has any money. They got this other account that's like set aside, for these claims. So it doesn't even matter if nobody's got any money because the money's already in the account. And he goes, you just got to find people that have shingles missing on their house, right? Ohio, we kind of sort of were a matching state somewhat. And at least 10 years ago, it was easy that way. And he's like, but so I'll handle all the labor and the crews and the construction, right? You don't got to mess with that. You just figure out how to sell the stuff. And so my roof training in those days, right, starting from the ground up here, was go find me a bunch of people that have wind damage that want to make an insurance claim. That was my entire training. Find it, do it. Didn't tell me how to call a claim in, what I needed to do with a claim number. I was just told, call the claim in and let me know, this guy that he knew, let me know when there's an adjuster appointment scheduled. And, I'll meet you there on that day to do it. So we go through the process, right? I go out in the pouring rain, right? I'm used to knocking 6 days a week, and the rain, snow, it didn't matter. So I go out on a rain day to go look at roofs. The first day I was out selling roofs, and in my hometown, I still picture the street I was on. It's one of those things you never forget. Sold 3 jobs that day, no problem, easy, right? Like, hey, dude, just do your deductible. Deductibles back then were $250. Like, you can't come up with $250, bro. Like, I can't help you. You need a roof, you got shingles missing. Let me help you out. And so we get these claims set up. The adjuster gets scheduled. I get told, be there 2 hours before the State Farm guy shows up. They're all State Farm claims. And so we get there before, and this guy shows up in the sketchiest thing. I don't know if you know names, right? You want to talk about old school names? You might know this name, right? The Northeast guy. Paul Davis shows up.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so kind of a name of infamy for he hasn't been around a while now, but if you know, it's been a while. And so he gets up on this roof and rips off like 800 square feet of this roof, like big chunks, and just whoosh, like he's folding the bed. And I'm just standing on the ground going, this went from like, I just moved overnight. Like, I'm leaving Kansas City, moving back to Ohio to start this new company. And this is what you think I'm going to do? I was like, this is fucking insane, right? State Farm shows up. The adjuster's super cool. There was shingles missing. He's like, yeah, man, like, this is really bad, right? And so we start talking through it, and the guy's like, dude, you only need one of these little 6-inch tabs here. If this was blowing off there and blowing off over here, I'd buy this whole roof. Like, it don't even need to be this bad, right? Back then, the adjusters were licensed, right? They'd educate you. So they come in and tell you what's what. And so I'm like, we didn't even need this joker over here to show up and do that. This was insane. I can't believe this guy just did that, right? And so I'm like, okay, cool. We don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I just need to cut that guy and never meet him again, right? So we're like, okay, cool. We're all good. Thank you for showing us the deal on this thing. You go do you. We're going to do us. And O&P, there was two stains on the ceiling in the living room in there, right? So roof, O&P, all of it was like $12,000 claim. And, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, $12,000 on a 20 square roof was like, that was big money, right? Profit wise. So we get it done, and I sell some more, and carriers are paying for everything. 1 shingle, 2 shingles missing. We're all good. Some creases and stuff. And the adjusters are legitimately teaching me what to look for, how to look for it, what it is, what it isn't, what's damaged, what's not damaged. Oh, hey, that looked like damage. That's not really damage. And that was how we came up in the game, man.
So brand new in the game, you were 19 years old. What was that first year transition from $100 commissions? What did that look like? How did you map it out?
I didn't have a map, man, dude. At 19, I was just trying to sleep on the couch and like not work, right? At 19, my first year in the roofing game, my goal was 3 roofs a week. That was it. And 3 roofs a week in 2009 was about 2 hours on a Saturday for me. So I'd go out and I'd work a Saturday. I'd come home. I'd pick out a couple afternoons and go bang from 3 to 5. And dude, I was a shitty sales guy. Like I did $1 million, easily in my first year, doing 3-4 a week, every week, like religiously, bang the builds, whatever, right? Like it was so easy. There wasn't 20 other guys knocking on doors. You're like, hey, your insurance owes you a new roof.
Talking about when you talk about bang the builds, it's like, okay, what we do is a little bit different than just your typical door to door. So when you're doing a job, why is it so much different?
Oh, I mean, and when you're on a six pack, you're the sales system that we brought over that I teach my guys now is we call it 4s, 5s, and 8s, 4 impulse factors, 5 steps to a conversation, 8 great work habits, right? It is literally like the dumbest system you could ever have to be a successful salesperson. And so the 4 impulse factors are the reasons people buy stuff, right? And so one of those is Jones effect. And so when you got, Steve's roof getting put on right here, it's easy to make Mary and Sue and James go, oh man, he's getting his roof on. I must have whatever he had, right? It's easy to explain to them, like, your shingles are missing, his shingles are missing, his roof was damaged, your roof is damaged, let me do yours. And they no longer think that we don't have to check out the company and all that because they can see you. We already know my neighbor's working with you, so I have trust. So we come in, with the trust already built in. All I have to do is get that customer to like me and trust me in the 90 seconds I'm knocking on their door to tell them, hey, yeah, we're working over here. We love you. We want to love on you. Hey, you're probably going to get a flat tire. Maybe the truck's going to park you in. Here's my contact information. How do we work together? Hey, here's how you contact me if you ever need me for anything in the future.
Yeah. And so developing as a person, you've got a family, you've got a business. Walk me through becoming a man, what being a door-to-door roofing salesman, how it helps you build character, confidence, and freedom as a man.
Oh, I mean, that's a 15-year long process. I don't feel like I got any of those pieces figured out till about 3 years ago, honestly. I was a boy for the majority of my time here on Earth. I'm still a young guy, and honestly, the first probably close to 10 years I was doing anything in the roofing game, I was still a boy. But I mean, there's a handful of milestones in my door-to-door career, my sales career, that have that like feather in the cap moment where things change. And the first one was when I was doing 3 a week. I was living at either with my parents in their basement, or I had just moved out and I had all my freedom and it was time on me, but we didn't have an office space. So trying to figure out how to be responsible for myself when I didn't have anywhere to go and clock in, I had no set hours. I had nobody checking over me to make sure I got up and went to work. And, 19, 20, 21 years old, dude, nobody that's 19 to 22, 23, 24, they are not responsible for their own time. They're not responsible for their own schedule. You are literally the chupacabra if you're the one guy on that. And so for companies to put newer salespeople in a position and have the expectation that they're going to come in for one meeting a week and they're just all of a sudden going to facilitate managing their own time and managing their own shit, when we know for sure in 2024, they're not bred for it. They're bred to be distracted. They are bred to have all kinds of other things that are in their face, flashy and more fun and more exciting than what they're supposed to be doing. And if you don't have to get up and go clock in, go to work, put your pants on, put your belt on, tuck your shirt in, right? Look like an adult for a minute. You're not gonna, right? I'm allowed to relax and take my time out. Homeowners aren't home until 3:30, 4 o'clock. So I'm just going to make it a point to go knock from 4 to 6, 4 to 7, 4 to 8. Right? On paper, that sounds really freaking good. But what are we doing in our day until 4 o'clock, the middle of the afternoon? Well, I don't know. If you're not religious, like having a very specific, day-to-day, good, well mapped out time, and you're just shooting from the hip. I don't know. I'm bored over here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to take a nap. Right? What happens when they're in the middle of a movie at 3 o'clock that they started and it's 4 o'clock? They told themselves when they woke up, I'm going to go knock at 4, but 3 o'clock they put on Pacific Rim. Right? They're halfway through, like, fuck, I'm not going to get up in the middle of the movie to go to work. Nobody knows if I'm going to go to work. So what do? The movie ends at 5:15. Now at 5:15, they get up. They're like, oh shit, I'm hungry. So they go make themselves some dinner. They're still at their house. Right? 5:15, 5:30, 5:45, 6 o'clock, they're done eating. Now they're like, I'm supposed to get up and go to work, but I really don't feel like it. Their girlfriend just gets home from their day of work. Now what do? They don't go to work. Why? Because they never had to get up, clock in for their work day, and put on their big boy pants, right? And so for us specifically, like as a sales company, I run a meeting 6 days a week. Every single day in the morning, we have a start time. Our day in the office, when it's daylight savings or whatever, right, it's light shorter. We start at 10 a.m. If it's going to be late out till 8, we start at 11. So a meeting at 11, and our hours are 11 to 7. Right? Super simple. It's an 8-hour workday. Don't tell me you want to come in, make $100,000 and tell me you're only going to work 3 hours a day. Fuck you. right? You're going to go work McDonald's for $37,000 a year for 8 hours a day. And you're telling me you're not going to give me at least that amount of effort to have a multi 6-figure opportunity? What is wrong with you? But as an industry, we perpetuate that, right? You don't have to go to work. It's professional. You get really good at it. You have your freedom. But what we just proved is that most people, even adults, aren't really able to be free without being distracted. And unless you have an ability to scrape all the distraction out of somebody's peripheral, they're not going to do what they have to do. So the easy solution to that is to systemize, put them in a box, and check the box every day. I have to get up. I have to do this. I have to be here right at this time, no later, right? And then hold a standard. Meetings at 11. You were here at 11:05. Get the fuck out. Right? We have a standard. You are going to be here.
I know you have an incredible culture. Y'all are working out together. You're going to trips, doing all these things. People ask me, why should I start my own business? And, everybody should want to start their own business. But oftentimes, people got to learn that there's strength in being in a wolf pack. And I don't know how you start the day is everything with your wolf pack. But, tell me a little bit about the inside of your system, the boxes that you check, what you do to make them successful.
Yeah. So 4 impulse factors, we beat that into everybody's deal, right? That's going to be Jones effect, indifference, sense of urgency, fear, loss, right? We're taking pictures of the roof up there. We're going to make sure that we train those pieces in them so that when we show photos, we're not just showing photos of hail damage, because your average homeowner sees hail damage on a roof. They're like, it's not a hole, right? I don't know. But meanwhile, the ridge cap is dried out and split open, right? So we can take a photograph of the inside of their house. And so building sense of urgency and fear of loss is an ability for me to teach my team specifically to, let's go get pictures of the ugly, nasty stuff that has nothing to do with the insurance policy, right? It doesn't matter that if they have damage that is the insurance company's going to care, that's in the insurance box over here, cool. But the homeowner doesn't actually care about that, right? They care about, right. You can see the insulation in my attic, okay? I can tell you confidently when rain falls in this area right here, it's going directly into your attic. And so we can create pain with that, right? Having that conversation that your attic is getting wet. When your attic gets wet, your shingles are not working, right? Now, obviously, when we meet the adjuster, we're not pointing out to them the dried, rotted, split open, ridge caps. We're going to go talk about the damage. The end result is the same for both people. The insurance company writes the claim the right way, pays for the roof. The homeowner gets the split open ridge cap she wanted fixed for her deductible. And so working through that system piece too is like, it's like every day we're talking about only those things. Hey, what worked well with you guys yesterday? Right? It's not like, well, I had this like super awesome thing that I said that was like a one-off special thing. No, we're talking to my team in the field when we're talking about what worked yesterday. What'd you do in that box of 4 things? Were you super indifferent yesterday? Right? Were you like real laid back, not pushy at all? Had just told the guy you helped the neighbor out. Like, what was it? Oh, Sam, the neighbor Sam walked you door to door and got you 2 more deals. Okay, cool. Jones effect was what worked for you yesterday. And so like when we're building that piece with the new guys, it's always the seasoned guys that when they're talking about it, we frame what was working through the system to make it very systematic to being you follow our bones of what's happening because they're repeatable. And they are proven to provide results opposed to, I talked to this lady for 3.5 hours. That was like a super hard no, turned her into a maybe. And now you have a one-off that like a new guy, if we're training them, that new guy's like, dude, I can never do that. Right? Like I could talk to somebody until they're blue in the face and overcome objection until it's done. But a new guy's like, dude, I'm never going to be you. And he quits before he gets an opportunity to get trained because he's like, I don't think I could do that.
One of my favorite quotes is they say, nothing big, no big result comes from a low energy source. And one thing about you is you have a high energy team. You have a team that really is moving in a very strong direction. So, I don't know what your habits are as a team to create such a high energy team. I think in door to door, managing your state, like managing your whole like energy. What do you think is more important, your pitch or your state and your energy?
Oh, Lee, you said it, right? The sale that we sell, we're giving away for free. 9 out of 10, it's free, right? Like in order to have a transaction happen on anything, you have to get 3 things to happen. You have to get a customer to like you. They have to trust you, and it has to be a good deal, right? So if it's an insurance claim, 100% of the time we can say it's a good deal, right? So then it's just a matter of getting the ability to get somebody to like you and trust you, which it has to do 100% with, are you mirroring the energy of the person that opens the door, right? Do we want to mirror that? No, we train on mirroring the person that we're talking to, but then also internally, what I think I'm mirroring, doing 10% more, 10% louder, 10% more smiling, 10% more of whatever it is, because what we visualize ourselves being isn't actually what's coming out, right? What the person's seeing from us. So we feel like we're here, but we're really here. So if we think that we're matching here, it's, be 10% more. 10% more means, getting that energy level up, making sure we're making good eye contact, using our C factors, right? Smile, eye contact, enthusiasm. When somebody, looks, a lot of sales guys going door to door, you'll have a lot of the time, you'll see the window treatment will move, right? Yeah. And what do we do, right? Like this, the lesser trained sales guy will do like this thing, like, I didn't see it. It's not there, right? You're like, no, look right at it, right? Like it moved. Look there, because if somebody looks out at you and you make eye contact for them, it's uncomfortable for them to not come open the door. Right? It's easy for them to have wiggled it, seen you, and then you didn't make eye contact. They can still pretend like they're not home. It's like, no, you have to be there, be excited, so that they want to come open the door and see you, talk to you, see what you have going on. Dude, energy is everything, man.
Well, and it brings me to this idea, you got this Andy Elliott guy. He's telling people you're fired if you don't have a six-pack. What do you think?
Doesn't have a six pack anyway. He's got like a 1.35 pack over here talking about six packs.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, but so as leaders, right? So we're talking about, how do we elevate and be the guy? Influence the team, influence that piece. I think a lot of that comes from the meeting piece. It comes from, the outside, setting the pace. One of the tattoos I just got right here says example on it. And so, it's a point to be like, as the leader of whatever you're doing, you need to realize, and one of the things, the reason we just got that was because it's like, I need reminded more often than I don't, that whatever I'm doing is the example that everybody's going to follow. Right. And one of the things that was ingrained in me back when I was at the original company with AT&T is that new people are going to follow 80% of your bad habits and only 20% of your good habits. And so if you walk around and you're in front of your team, any other staff, any ancillary staff, right? Not even the sales team, but they see you interacting over here with a customer and you're habitually 5 minutes late, they will be late. Right? If you're habitually quiet, reserved, they're not going to have their energy up, right? If, whatever it is. And so making it a point to make sure that, same thing. I hate the gym, bro. I fucking hate it. I hate working out. I don't want to go, right? Ever. No question. But I make it a point to go because I have to be there in order to check all the other boxes. For me to be the example, it requires me to have the discipline to go do the stuff that I don't want to do. And if I'm willing to do the shit that I don't want to do when I didn't want to do it, I can look at my team and say, yo guys, you guys got to be doing X, Y, and Z. The numbers are this, that's that, whatever. And it's because you're doing this. And if it's out of alignment with what I'm setting the example as, I can hold them accountable to it. Whereby if I'm not personally, if I'm saying do as I say, not as I do, dude, they're never going to listen. And I lost all credibility as a leader.
Well, what's funny is you were talking about, the freedom of being able to do whatever you want, but we all know that the more disciplined you are to things like doing things you don't want to do, like going to the gym, is where real freedom comes from. Andy Frisella, he's like, dude, the harder you are on yourself, the harder you can be on your team. And I've seen your business, your body, everything blow up, but also your message really changed because, you've invested in personal development. You've been on my podcast before. You've spoke on stages. You've been a part of many different masterminds. And as one of the only other producers of this type of content on YouTube and on Instagram and all these different places, I'd like to invite you to be like an awesome real roofing sales coach, because what you're doing with this content where you're going door to door and you're documenting the door to door pitch and like actually helping the customer, you're documenting the damage, you're showing like what's really going on in the field, real roofing customers, real problems, real solutions, and you're showing real wins. I love, basically your team social media approach of having your team collaborate on a lot of content, and your social media has really grown recently. Is there anything that you can say to basically anyone that is looking to use social media to their advantage, maybe they don't have a brand, but like someone that's new, that's trying to build freedom, they wouldn't think that they could use social media in roofing, like say that young kid that you got working for you that y'all team up on deals with. He's got some cool stuff going on.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's one of the things, right? People work for it. I found that the industry that we have now and the society and the people that are here, right? The millennial, the younger kids of the generation, they want to work for different reasons than I wanted to work for back in my time, right? In my day, I wanted to make a lot of money. I was willing to do what I had to do in order to make money, right? I'm driven by, you could call it greed, but I was driven by the success of what that was going to be. Nowadays, kids want to work and they want to.
You're addicted.
I'm
to
addicted.
I'm
addicted to winning. Yes, no, 100%. That I pivoted that about 2 years ago when I get asked that question, like, what's your why? And everybody's like, oh, my wife, my kids. I'm like, fuck them guys. Like, I'm addicted to purely winning whatever it is. And it's become crystal clear. Up until then, I was same thing. I struggled with that question. I was like, I don't even know. Like, what do I say to that? Like, you just check the box. Of course, my wife and my kids. Like, no, I do this for me. But I put the guys on there because it gives them the validation. It lets them have the piece to it, right? To where now instead of recruiting, I'm not recruiting for just money and all of that. I'm recruiting because I'm putting them on as the face of whatever we're trying to do, right? I'm not driving. I don't sell a sales product, right? I'm not selling coaching. So I don't need to put my face out there to go teach people how to coach and do all that. It's let me give them the opportunity to be the mouthpiece on this, because the content's going to be the same whether I'm standing at the door or they're standing at the door. They're going to go out there, but now they get to be in front of my audience, which is a win for them, right? Some of the guys just want to have lunch with me. Right, as a business owner, like the way we don't have to do $100 challenge and pay you out on an extra $100. They're like, dude, I just want an hour of your time. Like, let's go have lunch or play Top Golf after work one night, right? And for them, they'll go work harder to win. Dude, they'll work so much harder to go get that opportunity to win that than they will for a $500 cash bonus for the week on whatever it is. So like, the money is cool, but that's society now. Everything has tweaked in a direction that they want to be a part of something that is genuinely changing lives, that is improving something, that is doing things differently, that is congruent with something, opposed to just sit there, check the box, and go to work. They want to be a part of something that's more than just work, right? So the Saturday gym.
I've got a mission for you, brother. This is the sales pitch, all right? I need your and Tristan's help, okay? Me and Bradley have partnered up on something new. Instead of worrying about helping business owners, Josh, this message has been for everyone getting into the business. This message has been for the salespeople. And what you and Tristan are doing, it's a game changer for the whole roofing industry, bro. I've got to really celebrate what you just said, bro, because it's just amazing what you're doing. But the truth is like this real roofing concept is that we've got real content, real videos, and a real Zoom call from real roofing salespeople and business owners. And, you've getting basically, we get together in Zoom and we get together through a group chat. And it's one thing to get an online university, but that these masterminds where we can meet up and where we can talk on Zoom is a lot of fun, But I think having you as a sales coach, I believe in alignment, and you're a lot in alignment of everything. And I would, be honored to have you teaching. But the main thing, the reason why I know that we're aligned is I see your pitch. I see your guys. I see what you call damage. I see you in the field. You can't fake what you're doing. And that's the concept behind real roofing, is that we're not focused on, like right now, dude, a lot of mortgage brokers, real estate people, solar people, they're getting tanked, bro. They're getting smacked. They're getting the shit beat out of them right now. And Here we are doing 60-second roof closes because the roofs are paid for by the insurance, and we can plug these people in. And so breaking out of the matrix like a blue-collar millionaire means following the path that Josh and Tristan are taking. And, building your brand. Dude, Bradley, Andy Elliott, they are not in the field. They're not on roofs. Our competitive advantages is we're real business owners out there fixing real business problems. Now, Brad's our partner. But my concept is you've getting 50,000 organic views on your reels, being able to retarget those people with an offer, with a community, not a training, not a community. And it all being based off of the roofing salespeople, not the business owners. I mean, business owners come, team leaders come, salespeople come, but I want to pour into the people that are new, that are learning, that are trying to make their first, million. You know what I mean? You've already made your first million. What was the secret to making your first million?
The secret to making the first million is not to focus on making the million, but saving the million. It's saving $100,000. The secret to making your first million is saving $100,000 in cash in your bank account. Having the ability to make $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, selling roofs, selling whatever, right? Having the ability to go out and self-generate with an untapped income potential opportunity, $250 a year, live on 85 of it, stack 100 a year in a bank account, 70 a year after taxes a year, whatever, to 2 or 3 years, where you have $100,000 in liquid cash that you're disciplined enough to put it in the account, see the number in the account, and not regularly be looking at that account to spend it somewhere, to go, I'm going to go pick up the Rolex for 10 grand. I got 90 grand left. Like, what does it matter? It doesn't make it. It's like 2 roofs I'm going to sell. No. The piece to it is that you can put $100,000 that you personally, mentally have allocated as future money. It is money that is made to go make babies and make me wealthy in the future. Because if you have a mind where you cannot delay the gratification of spending that money, at $100,000, you will never have the ability to stack it to a point where it's $1 million. This is a $120 watch, right? It's a Citizen Turd Bomber. I don't, none of it's complicated and fancy schmancy. I hate the Apple thing that vibrates on my fucking wrist, so I have a Fitbit thing here, a Whoop, that checks out my heart and tells me how many calories I burned a day, right? Like, I'm wearing the same, literally, this is funny. My wife has to find these on Amazon. These are Lee stretchy work pants. They don't sell them anymore. They used to sell them at Kohl's. So we buy them in like packages of 25 because I'm like, I love those pants. Those are the only pants I wear. You will never know if I change my shirt because I wear the same shirt, same pair of pants every freaking day. If I go to the gym, I'm wearing my love language is referrals with my logo on the back. Those are the only 2 outfits that I wear, unless it is date night specific. That is the only time I change because I reserve that for my wife. Beyond that, I'm in work mode. If I'm not on date night change, it's how you can tell where I'm at with what I'm doing. What my outfit is, it says exactly where and what we're doing.
Now, what did investing into personal development have to do with that? Making your first million, you had to save 100,000. You were making money, but building $1 million net worth, did it happen like after personal development? Was investing into personal development a key part of it?
The only money that was spent outside of our basic bills, right, is on personal development. So yes, I started that probably right there when I was 19, 20 years old, right? 2008, 2009. Started up with the $3,000 a year package, right? $300 a month. You get Zooms, you get a Facebook group, whatever that is, right? For me, honestly, my first piece to like all of it was like watching hours and hours of Cardone's YouTube stuff on buying real estate. So go sell roofs. I didn't even think about becoming a better roof salesman at that point. It was just like, okay, I'm making good money selling roofs, $100,000 a year, 20 years old, right? So I was living at that time on 60 grand. So, okay, 20 grand a year in net flush. Like, that's not bad. Eventually I want to buy what do I want? Single family house, whatever, real estate. So go get the information on real estate to where I understood. But what that taught me was how money works. Right. That taught me how making money and multiply, how to not pay taxes, what kind of real estate would I want? Well, I don't want to become a boss and flip single family houses on the side. That's another job. Right. So it was like, okay, I want big real estate. Well, what do I need to do in order to facilitate that? So that probably took me 3 years of just staring at free content on YouTube, right? While I stack chips. Then I got 50, 60 grand in the bank and I'm making 200 plus a year on like a normal, like just sales commission process, 200 grand a year. And then now I'm buying it once I got up to about $200,000 a year in annual income, earned income, I looked at the $25,000 mastermind stuff where I went and got a coach that was me plus 20 guys in a room in Northeast Ohio doing that. We did a handful of mastermind 2-day deals for $4 or $5 grand a seat and buying our way to go sit at the table, because when you don't have shit, even if you're a high earner making $100,000, $200,000 a year as a commission sales guy, you're still a nobody, which means there won't be a seat at the table for you. I don't care who you are, right? Unless you're coming in from daddy or somebody, right? There's not a seat made for you at the table, but you can go buy that seat at the table, right? I think this is the piece where people like don't understand. They don't get that piece. Like, it is pay to play at the entry level point. When you're at the low man on the totem pole, I don't care who you are. It's pay to play to go get on the thing, right? And so, like Tristan, you were talking about Tristan, my top sales guy right now. He's got his bachelor party coming up he's getting married in May. And he's going to one of Elliot's events. And so we literally overlapped everything. He bought his seat to Elliot's event. We're going to go in 2 days early, hang out for the bachelor party stuff. He's staying for Elliot's deal. And so, I'm like, hey, great, go do that, right? I do an event once a month. He's always at my event, right? It's free to my team. But all the other stuff, these guys, I'm like, yes, go touch, go feel, go smell. Find your tribe between all of this. And then this is the piece that probably people get jaded on. They don't like in the self-development piece where it gets stuck. Right, is that you hear about it and then you eventually get as big mentally, you absorb everything you can get from the group, whatever group that is, and people outgrow the group, but they stay in it. So either you stay in it or you eventually just get to a point where you're jaded going, dude, I got more shit. Like I got my stuff figured out. These guys aren't able to help me anymore. Right. And so everybody stays in the good guys club at 10, 20 grand a year, and they go have steaks and they go on a vacation. But now you're just paying the original guy that put the group together, and you're all kind of like half the group's just friends that you obviously already have their phone number and a personal relationship with. So it's harder to say, cool, I've outgrown this, and look to the next group with different human beings to grow your network as you leapfrog through it. I think right now I'm on about my 4th iteration of like mastermind groups. Right? Started with a 25 guy group, got another 50 guy group, did a little stuff with like Cardone stuff up and down. He's obviously not real specific, right? And now I'm over here with Stuman and Apex on that piece to it. But between all of it, it's like each group is different reach. It's different people. It's different words. And through each of your party, you probably read a lot.
True. I mean, Ryan's got a valuable network that's very extensive. So if he's, you never know through Andy's network, Ryan's network, who you might do business with in the audience. So, you have an event coming up. If anybody's watching this, let them know about what's going on.
Yeah, so Blue Collar Ballers, they're throwing a roofing event down in Dallas here. That's actually this week. This Friday, 11 to 4, something like that, 10 to 4, normal full day thing in Dallas. Anybody that wants to get in, shoot me a message, whatever. We'll get you tickets. They're cheap. They're like $99. Not a big deal, but Todd's going to be there. Nehal, Kurt, who else is there? Dan up in Minnesota, a bunch of different big guys that are all doing 30, 40, $50 million, big teams. But we're me specifically, it's funny that we got on this talking about more to the sales guy and less to the owner, because like my talk on Friday is 100%. It is the 4s, 5s, and 8s. I am teaching the ground level system for sales, how to knock on a door, how to have a conversation on a door, how we want to write like a note, right? We knock on a door, nobody's home. What do? We just leave? No, we leave them information. Hopefully we're handwriting a note. Well, there's a way to write that note that touches on those impulse factors to make sure like mentally we're pulling them into making them have a call to action to it, not just like, hey, call me if you want an inspection. No one's fucking calling you if you're just like, hey, I was next door and noticed your roof. Like, they really, really need a roof if that's the case, right? But you're not going to elicit that next emotion to call you. So structuring that. But so yeah, man, we're doing the thing.
So I mean, this thing in Ohio, bro, it's fucking just a money market. I mean, you got all kinds of different opportunities. Roofs getting bought. You got wind damage, hail damage. You got good market. I mean, I've helped a lot of companies in Ohio grow, but it still seems like it's good old days. Homes get bought pretty quick. Money moves pretty fast. Like here in Florida, if you depend on depreciation to get paid, that's death by depreciation. We've had to move to retail. I know Kansas City's a different market. More higher deductibles. There's different, more ACV policies, sort of like more of a future of what you're going to see across the board. Like my company is in this Florida market that had literal collapse, and we had to go through 8 insurance companies who owed us money on depreciation that could usually take 30 and 60 days, took 6 months, 9 months. And we had to switch completely to retail, meaning I don't finance anyone's depreciation. What do you see about the changes in the marketplace? How much do you offer financing? You're an insurance retail guy. Do you offer denials? All the people that get denied, do you go retail? How do you mix insurance and retail, Josh?
So we do. We run the insurance game, the supplement game as good as anybody. We have an in-house supplement team, of course, and we go beat it up as much as we can. Once we hit the wall, it's got 2 options, right? We're going to go legal if it's slam dunk, right? There's no gray area, there's no weird stuff that we can they could weasel out where it's just going to take forever and they're going to get something more, but it's not going to make sense. So we won't run that play unless it's like, we caught them with their hand in the cookie jar and they're going to be owing bad faith numbers on something, which is probably 50-60% of the supplements that we end up there. But on an average year, we probably have about 5% that get denied that don't have the ability to get turned around in supplement in that process. And so, we go get $2,000-$3,000 in, repairs that aren't a full refund.
5%?
Bro, of supplements.
Only so 5%?
Most of if 50% gets approved off the rip, right? The other 50% or probably more like 70% that get approved off the rip. Yeah. We don't sign up junk, right? If the damage is there, the damage is there. So 30% of the jobs need to be supplemented. Of the 30% of jobs we supplement, we're 90% of those getting approved or whatever, and 5-10% of the ones that were denied having to get turned into like a retail something. So is that
that's mostly in Ohio? That's
full. We have less denials in Kansas City, so we get more claims denied in Ohio because we're working wind damage. So wind is going to damage a direction of a slope, right? So the back slope's not damaged. We got to go fight the thing, 20 shingles, 30 shingles on a repair, ridge cap, argue drip edge, argue all the things, hip, all that, right? Kansas City, we're working hail and it's 2 inch or better, right? So it's like, okay, is it hail? Is it not hail? Are we signing up crap claims? Or are we doing good claims? There's plenty of stuff to get around. We make it a point to make sure that we're working what is in the damage. And if it's not damaged, we're not telling people that it's damaged and try to make a claim just to make a claim. So when you work legitimate claims, they should get paid, right? For the most part. There are ones that don't get paid, which is why we figure that, we push it to legal if it's like, but 5% of those are like where it straddles. They had a prior repair or some goofy stuff. They still make the shingle and it matches. There's some things. And so, we're in that place. Yeah, we offer finance and we go in to try to close up. Hey, you want us to patch it up? No, patch it up. Is it repairable? Is it not repairable? Obviously, if it is repairable, hey, here's, it's a minimum deal. Let's just go get it cleaned up for you.
Well, let me ask you a little bit. I mean, Ohio is not always known as a good solar state, but some friends of mine are killing it. They were roofers. They got into solar and just did a big $200,000 kind of mid-sized commercial deal and had a roof included. Roof was pretty much free on it. But basically, y'all doing any solar at all out there?
So both markets are heavy solar. I have friends that do solar. I coach solar companies how to add roofing to their product suite, right? If you're already there pitching solar and the roof is a inadequate substrate, it's really easy to bolt a roof into a solar financing package. So it makes sense if you're already doing solar. I don't teach my current sales team to add solar as an offer to the roofing because it waters down what we're focused on, right? If I keep them in their box of this is what we're training you guys are really good at, for me to add solar, I would have to do it in a parallel company and have separate staff that does solar, separate staff that does this, and or feed leads between the two, but not necessarily.
Roofers don't work. I mean, the thing is the roofing salespeople are great setters. They're great up to half commission people, but you need solar closers and solar certified project managers. And anyways, the company that sold the big commercial job, listen, I do the same thing with this new app that I got that comes with the Real Roofing. It's called Roofing Redline. It's a roof measurement tool, an instant PDF, estimate and signature, and a canvassing tool all in one. And it was built for solar orgs so that they could have an instant roof quote to make that roof adder into the solar loan. You know, we also, I don't know if you use Service Finance, but and Goodly, but we got some real long-term 15, 20-year, 8% interest loan options with low payments. So plugging a solar company with an app and the financing sometimes can basically make your process even better. When we got to collaborate on this. If you're already doing it, I got to show you that. But as far as solar guys, dude, getting solar guys into roofing, man, here's the thing. Solar guys right now that are selling solar, I mean, they're having a harder time. And a lot of people, big companies going out of business, like big installation companies. Dude, the best lead out of any solar lead, you know, it's a roof that you complete. And I would say, like, even if the solar guys that you got are helping you get roofs, have they ever gave you like half of the profits on the deal to just refer them a job?
No, I know guys that do it, but I don't commingle. I'm like, this is our lane. We stay in our lane. We are not being distracted from the lane. So, yeah, no, I know. And they've offered to try to do that and go down the road of like
commingling. The idea for commingling is the same thing. I mean, I have to open your eyes because recruiting is about taking a solar guy, teaching him how easy it is for an insurance pitch. See, the solar guy's naturally going to get roofs. The solar guy's naturally going to sell retail and insurance roofs and close solar deals. So by recruiting solar guys into your organization, or even if you're feeding a solar organization opportunities, it's only going to create more reciprocity for roofs. And so I know it's hard to, honestly, the time was better whenever the interest rates were lower. But I mean, the reality is like one of the members in our communities is an old school, he's in Columbus. I know you're in Kansas City, but his name's Travis Stevens Roofing. He's been there a long time. He's got an EPC to install solar in Ohio. But you know what? Like, solar's always been a challenge for me. Roofing is always easier for me to sell. You know, the most solar accounts I've ever done in a year is about 250. I'm still a nobody in solar, but you know, adding 250 accounts is, you know, a $10 million book of business. It's $1 million in profit, and it's, you know, basically an add-on to the business. Now, the banks don't care about it. They only care about the roofing element a little bit, but the truth is like, I care about making it better for my sales guys, because if it makes me stickier and it allows me to recruit more reps, and I keep the departments divided, like roof and sales reps can't handle the projects on solar. They can only make like a referral commission. And I don't know. I mean, I would say like the sky's the limit. I don't know. Solar is different in Florida because it's a bigger, but there's SRAX credits in Ohio available. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And so I don't know. I know it's kind of right now, the way people are selling solar, they're selling it with leases. Whenever there was low interest, you could roll it into a loan. There's this argument that there is a tax, basically amendment that says that you can't write off the full roof with solar. Have you seen that?
Oh, for the tax deduction? Yeah.
Well, basically it says that you have to only write off the amount of the roof that's under the solar, but it doesn't clearly define that, like, for manufacturer specs, if you have to disrupt that much of the underlayment, you may have to replace the whole roof. So it's sort of a technicality. And I mean, CPAs, they will tell the customers direct, hey, look, you can get this roof solar tax credit if it's all in the solar loan. If all you do is add the roof into the solar loan, then, you know, here's the CPA, here's how you do it. I'm not a CPA, but 99.9% of the time it's worked for all my homeowners. Then the solar's paying for the roof. And that's, you know,
100%.
it's just one of those
I
things.
totally agree. That's the piece where in the retail side of it or whatever, why I coach solar companies to bolt on the roofing, because it's easy to add that. The biggest piece for me is like, if I was going to do
here's what it did for me. Solar hasn't made me like a ton of money compared to roofing or anything. It's not. And I failed a couple times where I've spent a lot of time, and I maybe could have spent more time in roofing. But here's what it did. It forced me to be better about selling payments. It forced me to be better about the loan process. It forced me to become a better retail sales. And it set a precedent for me making an evolution from being an insurance guy completely. Now, every job almost, we force financing, or they're going to pay in full either when we're finished or within 30 days. And I mean, look, it's specific circumstances down here. If I was in Ohio, then I would be happy, man, because I've heard you could get a claim, you could get a check within 21 days.
Oh, yeah. We usually we close out under 30 days from completion.
So, but I'm saying basically you could file a claim, the adjuster could come out, they could get a check written to them. It could then build the roof within 30 days and then cap it out within 38 days. So you can start to finish within 60 days.
Yeah, we do regularly. Kansas City too. Same way, same timeline. Florida's the only one where you don't get paid on the back.
Well, it ain't the only one. They're dragging out depreciation and something longer and longer for everybody. And if you decide to build a job and you're supplementing it at the same time as the depreciation, and you don't pick up enough money to cover your material and labor, I would say nationwide average, that insurance company is holding that money while they negotiate that supplement about 90 days.
Yeah.
And there is no business that can operate with 90-day AR. Like, that does not really operate when you're like doubling in sales, you know, and you have as many cost of goods as we have.
I'll pull it up right here. I'll tell you exactly how long they're holding it. My oldest supplement in Kansas City right now is 74 days old.
That's sick. So this is why basically you should go partner up with somebody that is in a slick, fast-moving hailstorm market like Ohio, Kansas City. Josh, dude, I've got to talk to you more about the sales community. I want you to be a part of. I know you're a part of a lot of different things, but how can they get in touch with you? And, you know, how would they connect with you if they wanted to learn from you or work with you?
Yeah, man, I don't, at this time, I don't charge for any of my shit, man. We got a once a month meetup. Feel free, hit me in a DM. You find me online, Josh Steinberger, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Very likely, if you are watching this right now, I'll have already dropped a pixel on your ass, so you'll be seeing my shit anyway. So when you see a familiar face, track me down. Dude,
so proud of your growth. So honored to be a part of it, and you're always leveling me up, you know. Guys, comment below what you think about this. This guy's killed it, and man, until next time, buddy. Hey, thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Look, subscribe, get notifications, because we're coming every week with door-to-door videos, interviewing successful blue-collar millionaires, finding out exactly what they did, going from living paycheck to paycheck to making that golden paycheck, baby. There's a gold rush in roofing, and we're showing what it's like, scaling our company to $1 billion, creating 100 multimillionaires along the way. Now, a lot of times we do silly things like roofer versus adjuster videos, door-to-door blitz videos where we get thrown off the front porch, but we do it for your viewing pleasure and to raise the status for the blue-collar entrepreneurs. So look, subscribe, tell your friends. That's the cost of admission. I want to help you Sell your first million, scale to 10 million, and then maybe be a part of our $1 billion plan. Look, subscribe, get notifications so you don't miss anything that happens right here on this epic roofing and contracting growth channel.